So this is the morning of May 23rd, Thursday, after NVDA earnings. You saw about 6:30 or so. It just started selling off nonstop, not much buying up. And at the open, you had a lot of people taking profits because they had a pretty large gap up from yesterday. Yesterday's close was, about 529, 530. Gapped up pre-market, 533. Kind of hovered about that, gradually grew up, and then at 6:30, whatever the news release was today, probably unemployment ratings and things like that, um, started selling off pretty massive at the open. Usually, when you get a big engulfing candle like this here at the open, you're going to get a bounce, and that's what we were waiting for. We weren't just going to hop into this big candle right here, even though it had significant volume, had almost 350,000 traded in the first 5 minutes, which was by far the biggest of the week. Probably almost add up the whole entire week into that one candle for what opening candles have been all week. Been pretty slow. But we saw that the green candle, the next 5 minute candle, was a failed candle. This didn't bounce up. It tried, but the buyers just couldn't do it, and the sellers took over. And it stayed below VWAP, which is this line here that you see, this orange line here. That's VWAP. These are my levels of support and resistance that I've had for the last couple of weeks. And I blew through it. My entry was actually right here when this failed green candle was here. I entered the 529 puts, which was a couple dollars outside of the money. I figured there was some value into it. Low risk, high reward, and it sold off. And of course, my morning strategy is that I always get out before the end of the first half hour. So for me, the market opens at 7:30. I always get out by 8 o'clock. That is my strategy because it always bounces. There's always some kind of reversal, some kind of change in direction. There's always some kind of 8 o'clock news release that changes things. And so my goal is, if I take an early trade, trying to take advantage of the volatility, I get out by the end of that first half hour, or any sign that shows that it's going to switch. And so we rode it through as it was breaking through the resistance, and we knew that the 530 mark was actually pretty significant, and so we were waiting to see if it would actually break through that or not. We'll switch over here to the 1 minute here, and you can see as it approached the final 10 minutes, it was starting to sell off, broke through. Volume was kind of steady. It wasn't really increasing at all. But then we started seeing Doge candles and top wicks. So definitely a change. It wasn't engulfing anymore. So you could see that they were starting to get some consolidation going on, that the buyers were starting to step in. And you can see it bounced right off my level of resistance here. I got out right in here. I just had that feeling that there was a big bounce coming. I could see that the volume was shifting on level 2 and all that. And so I got out right in here. So it was actually a pretty solid trade for me. I get in right here. This was the candle I got in. I got in at the 737 mark when it failed to continue to go green. When it dropped red, and then the greens just couldn't take over. This is where I got into, was actually right in here. Probably even a little bit early, but I saw that the momentum wasn't swinging, and so I took a risk of getting in while the price was still cheap. And so I got in here for the 529 puts, and I got in for a price of, what was my price? I got it for pretty cheap, and then I sold down here. I think my price was like 37 or something is what I got in for. And when I sold here, I sold at 96. So, solid win.